Hey, welcome back to the channel. It is officially time for another small round of modifications to the KLR650, which I have officially and affectionately named the Battle Pig. First up, my shifter the other day has gotten wobbly, and I need to grind the pinch gap or something on there because it's not cinching down on the splines very good, and then the end fell off of it, and that one's made out of steel. So I got a new Tusk aluminum one we'll put on there. It's supposed to be a little different length, supposed to be better. We'll see. I actually was thinking the other day, we got this in the mud. There was like 4 of us riding a few days ago. We got in some serious mud. And I've been thinking when I tore it all down and I was cleaning everything up, I've thought several times about changing that rear fender and having something more modern that comes out the back. And it's just like, I took it apart and I was looking at it and it's like, you know what? I really don't mind this, and it's kind of unique the way that thing drops down. So we're just going to change up its looks a little bit, but keep the fender itself. I've got a more modern light that we're going to fasten in there. Plus, we're going to change the orientation of the license plate. I checked with law enforcement, and in Missouri, the license plates can either be mounted horizontal or legally mounted vertically. So we're going to get rid of the big light, small light up top, mount the plate like this, see if that doesn't work pretty slick. Got a couple of new O-rings for the oil filter because we're going to be doing an oil change, and I noticed the oil filter housing was leaking slightly. Oh, and when I put the big brake on the back in one of my last videos, I kept the master cylinder that was with the original brakes. Now, the one off the '08 models that matches that caliper is a slightly bigger bore, so it should tame down the braking just a little bit. But I tried to put that on there and it was stuck, wouldn't flow any fluid. So we've got a rebuild kit for the master cylinder that's correct, because this braking system is almost too much. I mean, you hit that pedal and that back tire is locked up. So we're going to rebuild the master, put the other master on there, and see if I like the brakes a little bit better. And we've also got a new switch to activate the rear brakes. We're riding the other day and my daughter mentioned that she was following on the KLX and mentioned that the brake light was sticking on. Well, the brake light factory is the pull type here. That switch was hanging up. Had to mess with it. Had to mess with the spring a little bit. Got it to where it wasn't stuck on. But I think what I'm going to do is just take this banjo bolt out and put a hydraulically activated one right in there. And that will eliminate this switch hanging out here. I could cut that bracket off, get rid of that spring, just clean that area up a little bit. So that's what we've got in store for now. The biggest thing will be changing the tail light there. I think I'll start with something easy and just put the new shifter on. Okay, there's the two shifters side by side. There's a little bit difference in the bend on the new Tusk one. It was supposed to be 10 millimeters longer, shorter, sideways. I don't know what it said. It said 10 millimeters, supposed to shift better, or supposed to be more ergonomic. But either way, that hard rubber toe piece on the other one had broke off. And like I said, this wasn't clamping down very good anymore. Probably would have needed to go in and grind that a little bit. And it's just harder to pull together because it is steel. And this is definitely heavier. So we'll get this sucker on there, see what it looks like. You know, as soon as I clean up, now you can't see in there, but as soon as I clean up the splines. Shifter's on there, looks the business, feels good. I haven't rode this bike, but I did put a Tusk shifter on the KLX, and I do really like it. There's no rubber piece to come off here. That folds back. And like I said, it is a lot lighter than the steel one. And clamps down better back there without having to torque the crap out of the bolt. All right, on to the brakes. Okay, this master cylinder we're going to rebuild is a 14 millimeter off the 2nd generation models, which will match the brakes I've got on the back, the rear caliper. Now I'm running the first gen master cylinder right now, and it is a 1/2 inch master cylinder. And with this being a 14 millimeter, this means this is about 50 thousandths bigger diameter, which should mean that I have to put a little more pressure on the pedal to get the same amount of braking effort at the caliper, which is exactly what I want, because right now it's a little too easy. A little too easy to lock everything up. Now the kit comes with a couple of pistons, spring, O-ring, clips, boot, and then the 2 copper washers. So, okay, I pulled the boot back. You can see some corrosion down in there. I'll get that clip, that snap ring out. Maybe. There we go. And that takes that assembly out. That out. There we go. That comes out. There is an O-ring that seals it. Don't scuff the edges up. There we go. Now we just have to get this out of there. And it's stuck. Okay, finally got her apart. Had to actually come up through the output hole with a punch and dry that out, because she was pretty gummed up in there. As you can see, here's the parts that go up in, and we have the new rubber for there, we have the new rubber for there, and we have the new spring sitting over here. So I'll take that rubber off, put the spring on the other rubber, clean this out. See that small hole there next to my thumb in there? Make sure that's clear, because that's your fluid return hole. We'll spray all this out, get it cleaned up, put the new pieces in. And this is where your pedal pushes on it. It's just a matter of sliding all that back in there with new O-rings and new seals. Okay, when I looked down in here, there was a little bit of corrosion on the walls there where that piston had set in there. So I took a small piece of Scotch-Brite, stuck it on the end of a screwdriver, run it in there, and just twisted it around a little bit. Seems to have cleaned it up just fine. Hit it with some more brake cleaner and compressed air, so that's good, I think. Spring has got a hole right there. There's a hole or a little nipple on that. So we'll put those two together. That's ready to install. Set the old piece out of the way. Now we've got to get that on there. And we're taking the old one off. I'll go wire wheel this just a little, clean it up. And get this all coated with brake fluid. And just work it around like that. It's a tight fit, but it will go on there. Make sure the lip is facing that way. There, we'll put a little fluid in there. Put a little bit of brake grease on the ball there. On that, since that's on the non-fluid side. Now I'm holding that all together with my thumb. Get that clip down in the groove. Make sure it's down in there. That looks good. That moves like it should. Put this cup on there. Yeah, I just used a socket to shove that down in there. Now we just have to move this boot down into the groove. There we go. And that's right. Now, got this assembly that's got to go in there. More fluid. Get the O-ring coated. Get the O-ring pushed down in there. Make sure everything's clean and wet with fluid. Then we'll push this piece in. It'll pop into place. Then we can put its new ring on there. Now the nut, the clevis, and the other nut. We'll tighten that up once we get it adjusted exactly like we want it. And this is ready to install. I'm going to pull the spring here because we're not going to use this switch anymore. Move the cotter pin down here. And the pin. Now our pedal is free from the master cylinder. Take out these two screws so we can get to the reservoir. So there was a 10mm bolt here. Pulled it out. That released the reservoir. Undid the clamp. Pulled it off. Undo the banjo bolt. And that leaves us with the two Allen head screws to take that off. And that gets the 1/2" master out of there. Slip this 14mm master in place. Bolt it down. We're going to slip this back in place. A little fluid in the reservoir. I'm going to lengthen this just a bit. Keep the pedal up as high as possible. I like it like that. That looks good. Got a little bit of gap here between the case. Now we're going to see if we can get some fluid pumped through this. The problem I had when I tried this master before, I couldn't get any fluid to go through it. You can see it was a little corroded. So we'll do that. We'll block the hole, pull some fluid back. Finally got some fluid pulled through it. So that's a good sign. We'll hook up the brake cable, the brake line. Go ahead and put on the new switch. It had an angled boot on it, but you can pull the boot back from the wires. So bring it around behind so we can tie it into the wires over here. Well, we'll worry about that after we have brakes going to the back wheel. Shoot, she's already got brakes. We ain't even got it bled yet. Get those last few air bubbles out. That should be nice. Got the bleeder valve open. Slowly pumping it and it's shoving the air through. Tighten the bleeder screw and we've got brakes. So I'll fill that up, put the cover back on, clip, cotter pin there, and then we can wire that up for the light. Okay, pulled the old switch out there. Just cut the wire off of it. It had a plug where it hooks into the harness. So basically we had to hook these two wires to these two wires. Then we'll route it up through wherever I can find a good place for it. Right now, I'm going to chop this mount off because we don't need it. I'm not going to run that kind of switch anymore. So we'll get that out of the way. Yeah, the new switch is on there. Ran the wires there in front of the mud flap across the back of the engine, away from the exhaust, up the other side. Hooked it in nice. So let's see if it actually works. Keys on. We got tail light. And we got brake light. All right. And it actually shuts off. Good deal. Okay, on to the tail section. I pulled out my little license plate light. I kind of forgot that had that notch out of there, but got the license plate off. So we'll pull this lens here. Now I've already undone the wiring harness. And I'm envisioning getting rid of this thing. I don't know how or what I'm going to do with it, but I'd like to get this big mud-catching piece of crap out of there to where this is just kind of flat. But we'll see. Well, they got that thing bolted in there. A couple of studs went through this piece here. Take them off. You could pull that out. Then there's a couple of bolts going down through here that hooked out, but that's also fastened into the top mount up here on the rack. So I'm going to take the seat, rack, rather than pull the whole fender off there so I can do some work to it. After staring at it for a little while, I think what I'm going to do is see this raised section here. I'm going to cut that all flush all the way around across here. And then that will leave an edge here, here, and I may end up cutting it down here too. Get rid of that. But I will plate that with some aluminum. And I think instead of mounting the tail light to the fender, I may mount it on a piece of angle onto the bottom of the rack and then mount the license plate either up and down or sideways farther up in this area here And then that way the light will shine on it and we'll have a lot smaller fender. So I think I'll go to cutting. Okay, there's the first cut. Now it's off to the belt sander to smooth that out. All right, I got the tail trimmed somewhat like I want it. So I've got a piece of aluminum on there. I've marked around the edges, so we'll start trimming that back to make it a form fit. I'll probably end up riveting it down the side. I didn't even have to use any aircraft aluminum. That's a piece out of where I cut the windows out of my camper trailer. So I'll get that trimmed down. Trim this a little bit. We'll drill some holes here for where the rack goes through. We'll put the little standoff spacers underneath this piece. That way it'll sandwich it all together. I'm liking the way this is turning out. I mean, now it's kind of big and square, but that's kind of the way the whole bike is. I think what I'm going to do now is drill some more holes to connect it together. Go ahead and rivet it. And then I can start setting the license plate on there, figuring where I want to fasten it in, and then move on to the tail light. All right, we got the plate mounted on there. Just went ahead and riveted it in place. So now, yes, I know, I've showed my license plate. Don't steal my life, please. Now I'm looking at this. I had originally planned on coming off the fender with the light, but I think now I may just use a piece of aluminum angle and come down off of the rack. Now it kind of bothered me a little bit because it'd make it hard to wrap ropes around the rack if I was hauling something, but you've also got these. You can just wrap it around and go over the top. I don't think I've ever hooked wrapped anything underneath the rack that I had to do that with. And even if the light was mounted here, it would still be in the way. That's part of the deal with moving everything up. So I think I'm gonna go get a piece of aluminum angle and just mount it right onto the bottom of this. Right there is the completed bracket. Just need to mount it down below. Then we can start with the wiring. All right, the wiring's done. Just simple 3-wire hookup. I took the other 2 wires out of the harness that went to the license plate light because that's built into this new tail light. There was already a hole there in the fender that used to be for the turn signal, so I just ran the wire up and over to it. So let's see if stuff lights up. Oh yeah, that shines right down on the license plate. Now let's see, brake light. Oh yeah. That's not bad at all. Okay, I think I'm happy with it. Thought about doing a little more chopping on it, but I think it's going to be fine the way it is. I backed away from it quite a ways. The tail light's actually fairly visible. So I like the light. Definitely like the shorter tail. And I did ride it around for a little bit. The brakes are perfect now. You still got a lot more brakes than you did with the original Gen 1 stuff. But if you go with the Gen 2 caliper, go with the Gen 2 master cylinder. Going with the smaller Gen 1 master is just a little too quick on the lockup on the back. This is fine. You can still lock the back tire up on pavement, no problem, but it doesn't do it as easily, which is exactly what I was hoping for. So right now, I just need to give it an oil change and we're ready to ride. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.